Here comes the money. Here comes the money. Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money.
Welcome to the DeathPiles and Taxes podcast. This is episode 1,712
The most podcasts ever.
of podcasting history.
That's us right here on the DeathPiles and Taxes show. Don't fact check that, just believe it's true. Makes your life a lot easier.
Like most politicians, I mean.
And we're off to a rousing start.
Yeah. I'm in a great mood, man. We just left Phil's.
It's always a good mood when you leave Phil's. We're recording a little early. I got a secret side quest I'll be talking about next week if all things go good or bad.
It was like a mission or something. You got something that you're got. Are you going to donate a heart?
I can't confirm nor deny that.
You never know. I mean, you would donate a heart. You're that good of a guy.
Well, Adam, what is up, my friend? It's a new week. Last week we left on a high note. You were selling things left and right with your offers.
I'm telling you what, you opened the floodgates, the COVID, whatever. I mean, all I had to do was open the store and people are buying. I was sending stuff down left and right this week.
Now you called me the other day and you asked me a question. You want to go down that rabbit hole right off the bat?
I got a dilemma. We've moved some things around here at the office, downstairs. We've got people different, moved my inventory, and I have misplaced the infamous Arizona Cardinals sweatshirt.
The Cardinal sweatshirt that, if you don't know, it has been our go-to standard for telling people how to list on eBay the correct way.
Item specifics, you talk about, it's the brand. It's a Nike's. Gender is men's, size is medium, color is gray, theme is Arizona Cardinals. So that's how you gotta list the item to get the most searchability.
And so somebody went to your store and they said, I gotta have that item. They found it. They bought it from you. You got the ka-ching, and then all of a sudden you got the, where's that at?
Needless to say, I've gone through all of my eBay items. I have an extremely good list. I have everything moved over, like line number items of which tote it's in. I printed off my list and I checked off where the item was, what tote it's in, and I know how big my death pile is, but I can't find that stupid sweatshirt.
How much did that sweatshirt go for approximately?
About $45.
You need to find that sweatshirt.
I've spent more time than it's worth finding the sweatshirt, but now, next time somebody buys something, I know where it is.
You might need to go to eBay and put in those keywords and see if somebody else can sell you that for less than you sold it for and do one of those drop ship moves or something.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I've listened to you. I went ahead and did something else and pulled the trigger this week.
What we got going?
Well, you've been telling me if you're going to get serious about it, you got to spend some doll hairs to make it worth your while.
And that's how Adam found his first wife.
Exactly. I went ahead and threw down the $250 and got me a PSA Gold Platinum membership.
Are you a Platinum Club member with me?
Platinum Club member.
You know, PSA, maybe I need to talk to them. I should be getting commissions off all these people I'm sending their way. The reason I told Adam to do that is because for what we're doing and what we're trying to do with that premium membership, you'll get you a cool backpack and you'll get you a monthly magazine, but really where the benefit is you get 15 free graded cards, and it's on the fast grade, not the economy where we're usually at.
Which the economy grade anyways, it's like $9-10 anyways, so...
They do some specials sometimes,
yeah.
But yeah, we're about $10 a card. So you'll get Adam's got some higher end cards that he'd rather have graded sooner than later, so he can turn around and sell them sooner than later for much money.
I feel like I'm sitting on my stack. I've got my stack there, not the stack that I gave to you, but my other stack that I'm going to send in. I feel like I'm sitting on probably close to maybe 15, maybe about $2,000. So it's going to be well worth my time to send this money in.
So the $250 to get the $2,000, it's one of those tax deductible things.
Don't get me wrong, like perceived value is one thing, but when you compare it to the actual solds and the money's not in my pocket until it's in my pocket, and even when it's in my pocket, I'm just going to go spend it at Phil's anyway, so
It's going to be a perpetual habit.
a reinvestment into my money.
I'll go out and say, have you sent them in yet then? You got the membership?
I just got the membership about 2 hours ago.
Your cards will be back before our economy class box, so.
I've encouraged myself. I'm constantly trying to learn. I'll watch, now that I got the store back open, how to best organize your eBay death pile.
Yeah, inventory is a funny thing because it's kind of like when we talk about selling or listing, everyone's got their own way of doing it. And usually it takes something like, I can't find something and it took me half a day to find it, or I never found it, where somebody's like, okay, I'm going to get serious, I'm going to figure this out. So some people in their listing or description will put like a little item code that tells them where they put things. Some people have racking systems of ABC, like a warehouse,
Racking.
A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, the whole grid system. There's no shortage of ways to do it, but I would say if you're starting to sell on eBay or on the internet, you're listening to us right now, fast tip would be have some sort of system that preferably some system that if you get successful enough, you could teach somebody else to know. But right now, just that so that when that item sells, one, it's not lost forever and you have to tell the person, I can't find it, here's your money back. But two, if it takes you a half hour to an hour to find it, you are losing money.
You're gaining experience and learning what not to do in the future.
But, we'll see what happens. Last year, I don't know if you remember, but we were going through the summer slowdown and everybody was, just all paranoid. eBay's not doing anything. It's horrible. We're in the slowdown. Should I, go start donating plasma and not run a store anymore? And now this year, granted, a lot has changed in a year, but people are selling, like hotcakes. So remember to be grateful with where you're at with your store right now. If you're so busy that you can't find stuff, that's not a bad thing. But just know this isn't normal, especially if you're new to selling. This isn't normal. Usually in the fall and stuff, we'd have going back to school type things where we'd say list your clothes and stuff. Some schools might be going back, some might not. However, during the pandemic and what's going on, a lot of people seem to be wanting to buy used clothing, as Adam can attest to. Maybe people are trying to save a couple bucks, or they're just got some free time looking at some things. So either way, just know that this isn't the norm and enjoy it while it lasts. Keep raking in that dollar bill. Keep listing. I know we got a couple podcast names with keep listing in the title, so that's not going to be this one, but just remember that. So a year or two ago when you were in the summer slowdown, it was crazy. Just be grateful to be in the opportunity in the spot that we're in right now as online sellers, where we're just, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Better than the fourth quarter for me. So what do you got, Adam? What are you looking at over there?
Just last time while we were talking, I went through my list of things. Like I said, I've got 100 things listed in my store. That's kind of where we've been. Luckily my wife is here. She saw everything. She's like, wow, that's really easy. And I'm like, yeah, let's get over here and list some more things. So I think we've got the fire again. So we'll see if we can list a whole bunch of stuff. But just going through the store, trying to find a thing. We sent out offers, and that's why we had a ton of sales this week.
And no better time than the present, right? You don't want to have just no one knows what's going to happen the next couple weeks, the next couple months, as it's shown from month to month. Just go back and listen to our podcast for the last couple months, and you can see the waves come and go, or you lived it, So next month might not be, anything like what's going on now. So take advantage while you're in here. Get listing that stuff and get selling that stuff, because you got a captive market with money that's buying on eBay, and who knows how long that will last for. If I knew that kind of a thing, I would not be doing a podcast on eBay. I would be placing, large bets on other things and making my money that way. So the psychic power I might not have, but I usually have pretty good indications, as shown by last week when Adam sells skyrocketed.
They did skyrocket, and I appreciate everything that you did for that.
So now you're a PSA member. You got your eBay rocking and rolling. You're just you're just living the life.
I told you I gotta take your advice. You sent over a text message. I didn't get quite the chance to read it, but all I saw is something I need to be on DraftKings too. So I'm pumped about your financial advice there, Clark Howard.
I just when it lines up, it lines up, and there's two types of people right now. There's the people that are cowering and afraid and hiding underneath the rocks, and there's the people looking for opportunity. And I understand that some people have had hardships with health or with loved ones' health or with jobs or anything like that, but you have to look for the silver lining in the clouds. And I think if you're looking for some financial freedom or independence, there's multiple opportunities right now. We obviously talk a lot about selling online. We were talking over to Phil, basketball cards have never been hotter. We've talked about, refinancing housing or that kind of thing. Market's going great. There's just, plenty of jobs if you're looking, if you want certain career changes or whatever. The government's giving you money. I mean, the fire department's going crazy because they can. So it's just how it is, man. Like you can be scared and you can stay, underneath that bed sheet all day and do nothing, or you can start, making a plan and going in a certain direction.
Make it rain.
And by doing that, we're not saying you have to go out and expose yourself to things that you're not willing to expose yourself to, but you can go buy online and flip online. I was over on the Pristine auction site last night, and I bought me a few items that I'll be talking about next week.
You're such a tease.
Because I need to make sure they get here in one piece. I will say, somebody owns a Mickey Mantle card in this room. A 1956 Mickey Mantle card.
You're throwing down the big doll hairs.
As long as it comes in clean.
I don't know if you noticed, I had to make sure that I spent more money than you at Phil's.
I know.
I made sure that I did that.
I tell Phil every week, you gotta tell those boys I had a zero whenever I'm spending and get their money. My favorite thing is, so our buddy Phil's been on the podcast before, and we'll probably have him again at some point, but when we're over there talking to him and he's trying to give discounts or whatever, and he just says, Derek, I'm not a good businessman. I said,
Good
Phil, salesman, you're an entrepreneur, Phil. You get the return customer. You're the slow dime, man. You're the slow dime.
No, I'm not talking you into this, but I feel pretty good. No, I'm not talking you into it. Well, now you got me all hooked, Phil. I gotta have it.
I'm buying this, and I'm going to open it for myself tonight. Now, you don't got to do that. I'm going to get one and open it for myself. And now, don't be buying that because you think I'm going to.
And then, don't worry, we'll be back next week.
Every week. It's cheaper than therapy for me, and it gets me some good results. So
If it does better than what's going on in the market, I treat it like my retirement account, which I'm going to start doing here pretty quick.
You got to diversify. That's the thing with anything, online selling or anything else.
And people look at you like, really? Like, you're really making money selling sweatshirts and wrestling dolls and shorts, and what else did we sell this week? I mean, we made money selling stuff that we enjoyed doing as a family. Like, we went to these places, just like I went to the movie with my family. You can spend $80 real fast.
Oh yeah, if you go to a theater, especially you with a couple kids, and you start buying some concessions, you might as well just
you're talking 80 to 100.
Get on first name with Mr. Franklin.
And the same thing is, we took it. We spent a couple afternoons going to different thrift stores, finding it. Like, we were going to spend the money on something, but now we're getting that money back because now we're selling reinvesting in it, something that you can show the kids. Yeah, cool, that was a fun movie. Sometimes it's fun to go sit in an air-conditioned theater and watch a movie. I get it. Yeah.
No problem with that. However, when you bring it back, or even without the kids, you bring it back and you're like, okay, that cost me $25, and you sell it for $100. You got $75. And that just puts a smile on everyone's face, and then you go out and do it again, and then again and again, and that's how your money grows. Or, I don't know, you just go take the whole family to the movie and say, hey, this one's on me. And a $25 investment that turns into that Benjamin Franklin versus just the Benjamin Franklin from working for the manor, or however you guys are out there grinding, getting the money. I mean, it's a night and day comparison of how you feel, and then, it's just, I don't know, it's opportunity based, and I know a lot of the people that we're talking to kind of get it, they're kind of that same mindset as us, or else they wouldn't be listening. But I know there's people that just kind of listen, and, they think, I don't know if they're crazy, I don't know if they're funny, but I have a feeling a lot of people haven't dipped the toe in, or they want to try it, and they're still kind of hesitant. And I'm telling you, right now is the time to dip the toe in, and you got to learn, right? So, it's just like anything, like riding a bike or learning your mathematician. Go up there, Adam, on that thing really fast on where we've been. What's that top state?
That's where I was going.
I can now step foot
in North Dakota.
Okay. Well, that was good because is that where Rushmore is? Is that north or south?
You're in south.
No, well, that's where Sturgis is.
I was pulling this up for a reason.
Well, I haven't been looking at that, but now
we got a big hole in our United States.
Sorry, it detoured me. We're just missing one state. Well, I'm in Alaska, but that doesn't count because that's close to Russia.
Lower 48. I can see Russia from my house.
And not political at all. We just do impressions and open the gate with politics.
We're just looking at our numbers. Like we started.
If you know anyone in South Dakota, you tell that person that they need to download the DeathPiles and taxes so that we can be a complete 48 contiguous states.
The continental.
The lower 48, and we'll take on Alaska when we get there. But if Canada beats us to it, we're just a few provinces away. And then some of the
provinces.
That's what they are, man.
I believe they're called provinces, not providences.
You ever been to Rhode Island?
I've been to Providence, home of Brown University.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, Providences.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you spell that?
This is podcasting. Spelling don't count.
Okay. Back to where we're at.
I don't know where we're at. You brought up that map and derailed me like one of my derailments.
I know. We're in all these other countries in the world. I mean, I don't know. This is the best part of my week.
The podcast is doing well, friends, and we hope to keep doing well. I hope everyone's doing safe, and we want to get together. We were planning to do a get together in the summer. That's yet to be determined if that's going to happen. We got our golden ticket guys out there that have yet to cash in, but all said and done, just seize the opportunity. I guess what I was trying to say is if you're thinking about listing or selling on eBay, right now would be a great time to do it. And you'll probably have a lot of success. Adam, the fire engine's still revved up over there. I don't know what's going on. Are we on fire?
We are on fire. We've been downloaded in 20 countries in America.
Okay, so I say Providence is whatever, but you say 20 countries in America.
In the world.
Exactly. It's not so easy, is it?
I don't know where this is going.
Folks, this is a Thursday afternoon show. I've worked 40 hours already in my week plus. Adam's been crunching them numbers. We usually do it on a Saturday as of late, but like I said, I got some special.
He's got some deals that he isn't even.
These are the special times, and maybe we will, maybe we won't. But I got a story for next week, and I need to keep it for next week's podcast.
You always got good stories. Well, I'm gonna get into it. I mean, we talk a lot about selling on eBay. You've been buying things on other. That's how hot the story is.
That's how stabby we are. West Abington, Philadelphia. Payson, Utah.
By stabby, he means we are by the great men and women of the fire department. They
probably going to put a kitten off the ledge with Corona. Out of the trees.
Our engineering team, they can't even pipe in that music. It just naturally happens.
Carol Baskins is out there feeding puppies and kittens.
Goodness sakes, I don't even.
I'm off the rails, man.
You're in your Tiger King. So, anyways, what I was going to get into is trying to figure out making your online business or any kind of business more efficient. That's what I've been trying to spend some time on.
So, what are some steps that you have took to make your business more efficient? As this week has seemed to be one that you've been focusing on that.
Well, at first I really had to dial down and get some real numbers. I've been doing a lot better effort in tracking the number of tax returns that we've been doing, how this whole COVID thing has really affected me, my clients, because people are a nature of, they create habits of, how do you say that?
Creatures of habit.
There you
Not so easy, is it? Providence. You give me crap about Providence.
You're just throwing me that. So people are creatures of habit. Meaning I can look at somebody's tax history over the past 8-10 years and look at their invoices, and most people are within a week of when they file their taxes. They just do them the same thing. You're always that mid-March guy. That's just kind of the way we've been, which is great. But what I mean by that is as soon as people found out I don't have to file my taxes until July 15th, they said, I'm not going in April.
You better book out the 4th of July week for yourself, because that's going to be a busy time.
That's where I'm kind of getting is my schedule is kind of changed. So I've been trying to figure out how can I be more efficient. So I've really kind of dialed it down, found all of my numbers from last year's, and I do it on a weekly basis, knowing how many returns I've done, how many returns I have left, so I can really gauge how many customers are returning, what do I have to make sure, how many new customers I can take on. We've gotten really good. I mean, my office, I'm still here quite a bit, but again, I'm trying to make the best use of my time. So I'm trying to like plan out my days, how many clients that we take care of on a monthly basis we can do, and just really getting good, because it's like, all right, you know what I'm doing next week? I'm closing the shop, man. We ain't gonna be here. We're gonna be out of the office for 12 days.
Well, it's a 14-day, you got something, need a mask, right? What's going on? Am I quarantined as well? Is this the way that you're breaking it to us?
Not as easy as you think, is it?
Well,
no, we've got, both the people here in the office, they've got some graduation things, they've got some things going on.
mm-hmm.
And I says, you know what, let's close the office.
Sure they do.
We got the stuff ready to go. I do not have corona.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have you're normally the guy that's rubbing menthols down your throat and stuff. I mean, I'm good and healthy right now. I
like to make money however I can make money, Adam.
If you want to rub menthol and hey, you take care of whatever you got to do. But all I'm saying is we're getting a little more efficient. We're going to take some time off and enjoy the rest of it.
Are you paying them for the time off?
Absolutely.
Well, I can't make fun of you now.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I was sure that was going to be a no, and I was going to go off about what a cheapskate you were and sitting them for 14 days and how things are going. So what are you going to do for your 12-day vacation?
Before you jump that boat, guess what we've set up completely for all our employees here?
A snack bar?
Retirement plan.
401k?
Yes.
Do you match?
Yes.
How much are you matching?
We do 10-20% of what they put in, we'll match.
Are you hiring?
Well,
20%?
Yeah.
That's good.
We'll do quite well. We're all for taking care of our people, because when you get work done, I mean, it's a win-win for everybody.
That's a good 401k. I think I got 3% match, and I thought I was doing pretty good with that 6%. Then I have my own Roth I'm doing, so I thought I was going to have you, but nope.
And again, like it says, it's being efficient. It's getting things figured out. It's taking care of people, because if somebody can come in and get the amount of work done in 12 hours in a week, then somebody else used to take 30 hours a week. I mean, I'm doing better, they're doing better, everybody's happy. And I think that's what a lot is going on in the world of business right now.
Well, there's a lot of incentives anymore. That's true. A lot of this people they're learning that they can work from home. Businesses are learning that people can work from home. That's a benefit for people, depending on your situation. I know people are getting, catered lunches. They're getting a little snacky snack time. They're having, Clark Howard, which everyone thought was a joke back in the day. I know I go this way a lot, but he had, if you wanted drinks, he had drinks, take them for free, so they didn't go out and buy, the vending machines or have to go down to the corner store, and they didn't have to clock out to do it. So people thought that was just crazy, but guess what? People like working for him, like you're saying. They wouldn't take their 15, 20-minute smoke break or whatever. They'd just go grab them coat, go back to work. He was doing the unlimited paid time off, which I don't know how that works, man, but
we do the same.
He's having rave results, and I know right now if that was offered, I don't know who wouldn't take it. Of course, you can't abuse the system, but if you're getting the results, that's the place to be. So it's getting to be a buyer's market, I guess you'd say, but not an employer's market.
Well, you get good things out of good people when you take care of them.
You do, and I've heard it said a few times, and I don't know who said it, but people don't necessarily quit jobs, they quit employers or bosses.
They quit people, and that's what I'm trying to make it the situations for people, because then again, it allows me to become more efficient in not only my business here, but doing the eBay. And then the big one that I've been learning about, that's kind of where this podcast has kind of allowed me to learn more things, is my other online business. Is we started a company with an idea, and now we're selling off-road wheelchairs, and we're actually starting to churn. And I'm really trying to figure out about how to get on other websites and Google Ads and different things like that. And we're in a good spot. And now I'm really learning, like you talked about, is that manufacturing, the lead time, and just learning a lot.
Yeah, you gotta learn, I mean, it's a learning process no matter what you're doing. It's that, 10,000 hours or wherever they say to make you the expert. And then there's multiple spots to become the expert, but hopefully at some point you can get to where you hire somebody to do that work for you and frees up that time and you move forward with it, right?
That's what same thing here, learning about a system, a numbering system, knowing what things are. I just left the shop, again, trying to do the same thing so that, there's more things out there than just one person either knowing or not knowing about it.
So how do we turn this to our people listening to say, that's great, Adam, I'm glad the accounting's doing well, wheelchairs are good for people that can't walk. I sell, cards on the internet, I sell stuff that who knows what was coming to Derek's mind there that he was going to throw out on the podcast and have to change later on the internet. I'm selling Sugar Ray concert tickets from 1996 on the internet. What's that got to do with me?
It sounds like you've improved my store last week, and now you're asking me how I can improve your store. I get it.
Well, the people listening, our folks at home are like, I'm glad Adam Up Accounting's doing well. I've been meaning to call them. Oh, Grandma does need that wheelchair to pull the wagon because, they can't retire. But how does this benefit me as an online seller?
It literally sit down and realize what you have. That's what you have to do, is figure out not only what you have, but we just sat down, my wife and I, we went over our budget. We went over our entire thing of why do we want to online sell? What is like our monthly nut? How much money do we have to make every single month? And that's including, mortgage on our house, our phone bill, and everything else. I was able to go through everything, including stuff here at my office, because unless you're going through a fine-tooth comb, I found 2 stupid subscriptions I've been paying for the last year that's cost me $120 a month.
And you told your wife you didn't know what those subscriptions, you'd never been to those websites, you didn't know where that was coming from.
They were for accounting services.
Yeah, accounting services.
QuickBooks.
Hey, can you put that under accounting services, please? Anything for you, Mr. Beasley?
We have large amounts of QuickBook transaction. It's supposed to be under one account, but it was under a secondary account. Look at this guy. There's the bus, and I'm getting out from underneath.
Nah, it's always good to go through and look at your subscriptions, because a lot of people do. They sign up for things, they think they're going to use them. It's just automatically on the credit card. It's not a huge sum, and you pay it for years and years, and it adds up to be hundreds and thousands of dollars.
We went in and found some items that we purchased that were just sitting at the house from Amazon that we didn't need, or they were the wrong size. I mean, super easy, sent them back, and we got a $120 refund already. So we just sat down and figured out, all right, where are we really at? What are we spending money on? What should we be spending on? Going back to that real being accountable to yourself and knowing what you're spending money on. I think that's what it was. And it just allowed us to realize, hey, this is what we're doing in the store. This is everything that we've spent is now you can look at it like it's a sunk cost. Like we've already spent that money. It's already gone. So it's not like, well, we got to spend more money to make more money. No, we just have to list and we'll make money that we just get.
You've already done the spot where now it's just you have to start reaping the rewards. When you brought up the bill part, it reminded me of the scavenger life, kind of where we stole our name from, the podcast we were listening to. Adam's a big Gary Vee guy, I was a scavenger life guy. We came together and made the podcast. One of the things that they do every week is they go over their numbers, and they have, they want to be financially independent. Their backstory was they wanted to, live at home and be together and just sell online and not have to deal with the 9 to 5 rat race.
The grind.
So they came up with the number, I think it was $1,000 a week was what it would take to cover their mortgage, cover their bills, and that's what they've been doing. And they've been doing it for years now. But they know the numbers, they know what they have to list to reach those numbers, because like you're saying, things tend to trend in the same direction. So if you have to list 50 items a week or 5,000, depending on what you're selling, you'll kind of get that consistency of this many items for sale turns into this much volume and cash flow in my store, give or take, but usually it's pretty spot on.
Yeah.
And, most weeks they're between that 1,000 to 2,000 mark on a great week, which everyone would like to be, but, know your numbers. Exactly. It's one of those things, know what you have, know your items, know what you need to go to, if your trip's to Disneyland, know what a trip to Disneyland is going to cost you that you want to do, and then break that down to, I need to do this much a week, I need to do this much a month to make this much money, and this is where my money's going, this is profit, this is reinvesting, this is, what things cost you. Your people across the street now, they're doing some sort of SWAT training drill, I think. I might be held hostage I don't know what's going on. I just hear large megaphones. I know the people listening to the podcast probably can't hear, and it just sounds like I'm a deranged, crazy man when I start thinking we're under attack. Under Siege 2 with Dennis Rodman and Jean-Claude Van Damme, or that was Double Team. I don't know what's going on, Adam.
Steven Spielberg.
I don't think that's Steven Spielberg.
Oh, no, Steven Seagal.
That was your favorite Seagal, the Seagal boys that grew up in Brooklyn, Nevada, I believe. If I'm not mistaken. Please don't correct me if I'm wrong, because that's just a good story.
So, how is this going to know your numbers?
Know your numbers, know what things cost, have your goals. I mean, it doesn't have to be, it might be, hey, I want to buy a cool Brita water filter for $30. I need to sell 10 pairs of socks. Or it might be, hey, I want to go to the, Mars with Elon Musk. It's going to cost me $500,000. Or something in between, right?
I don't want to derail, but did you see his kid's new name?
I heard it once, but I don't remember it. It was it wasn't like a symbol like Prince did.
It's like X squared to the 14th power.
Hey, don't rhyme with nothing the kids can make fun of you on the playground with, right?
And he's Elon Musk's kid. I mean, you're already worth thinking, but yeah.
The kid turns 4, he's going to have enough money to legally change it to whatever he wants. Speaking of which, I got a new manager at work, and I won't get a whole lot into it, but was asking what his middle initial stood for. Long story short, something about his birth certificate was found when he was like 12 or something. They didn't ever fill out what his name was. So his mom asked him what he wanted for a middle name. He picked Dean.
Okay.
D stood for Dean. Now, if you could name your own self, your own middle name at 12, I would have been Derek Awesome Brother or something. I don't know. I'd had like Homer Simpson rules. I don't know what it meant. I'd had something, Hulk Hogan's twin. I wouldn't have been Dean. That's all I know. I like Roy just fine. It hands over time. It stands up nicely. But I'm just thinking, what 12-year-old's like? Oh, I prefer to be called Dean as a middle name. Like, I don't know if he had it before, if it was just, I don't know the whole story. He was just telling me that, and I thought, what 12-year-old kid that gets to pick his own middle name goes for? I don't know if there was a grandpa, a brother, a great uncle. I just thought if I was 12, I'd be like Derek Carl Malone Everett.
Derek Beavis Roy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it wouldn't have been Dean. Nothing against his business. That's the right choice. I'm not saying he did the wrong thing. There's a reason he's in management and I own an eBay shop. I don't know. I just think a little differently. But at 12 years old, man, I've been like Derek, Kathy Ireland's future husband. I don't know what it would have been, but it sure would have been Dean. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I know exactly what you're saying. So, know your numbers, figure them out, take some time. And that doesn't matter if you're selling online, just listening to it. I mean, we know some of our regular listeners, they've got numerous amount of children. They've got plethoras. They've done their part.
Hey, Utah just decriminalized polygamy.
Yep.
So
they've done their part to multiply.
There's going to be some more kids coming out legally, I guess. I don't know where I'm going with that. Probably shouldn't get religion into this, but just you're talking about a lot of kids. And sometimes you'll go to establishments around this great state, and you'll see people that are there with a lot of kids, and you start doing the math on it, and whatever floats your boat, as long as you're, consenting adults over 18, that's your business.
I don't really care what Joe Exotic is doing. Don't drag that back into our
All I'm saying is they have a lot of kids. Put them kids to work. Make some money. Take all them kids to Disneyland.
And you got to know how much that costs, and that's what we're getting at, is spend some time to really look at your future, make yourself accountable to how much money you're making, how much money you're spending, where you can improve, and just enjoy life. So
because if you don't, it's a hole in the Titanic that you're just trying to bucket out the water, and you don't know how much water's there. You don't know how much you need to do. You can't get the patch job down. It's just a mess, folks.
It's just an awful mess. It's like a harpoon through a gaylord of honey. You just never know when you're going to clean it up.
Check our website to figure out what that means.
So let's cut to our commercial break. And then
By website, I mean Facebook page.
Well, it's that time of the year. It's time to file your taxes. What a daunting task. Can you imagine sitting in your basement, taking all 12 months of all your receipts and just trying to figure that out?
I got that shoebox full of receipts, and I'm going to make this work.
And then what do? You get online and you try and figure it out yourself. It ain't worth it, man. Hey, you need to file your taxes. Go to adamupaccounting.com. We'd be happy to help you. We understand resellers like crazy. We know how to file your taxes. We know how to put all your expenses in the right categories. We know how to take care of it timely, that you feel like, oh, this is well worth it. I should have been doing this my entire life. Look at Derek. Look what he used to be. And look what we've got him trained into now.
I'm a champion of the interwebs.
That's what your Twitter says. So go to adamupaccounting.com. You can find us on there. You can message us directly. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to help you out so that we can decrease the stress that you have coming up in the next few months.
Visible Mobile, Adam. What is it? I'm here to tell you, it's a new phone service running on your Verizon network. You can pay as little as $25 now. They've got this new thing that's called a party plan.
The party line.
It's like a family plan, except for you don't have to go around and collect all the money from everyone. Everyone pays their own bill.
I don't have to Venmo my cousin.
You don't have to Venmo your cousin Eddie. You don't have to go down that trailer park and try to wake up Granny and tell her, get out of your wagon and give me your money.
So you're saying I need to get on Visible Mobile to start saving money every single month.
All in, $40 a month, down to $25 depending on how your party plan goes. You get unlimited everything. You get the best coverage there is available. You have a mobile hotspot included. Of course, when you go there, you're going to use our promo code. Adam, do you remember our promo code?
Not yet.
Well, I'm going to tell you what it is. It is BVWVQ. And let me say that for you phonetically. That's Bravo, Victor, Whiskey, Victor, Quebec.
Go to Visible Mobile.
And it's my job to bring us back into the most electrifying half of the show. It is the Death Piles and Taxes second half that you came to, enjoy.
To find out what their potential make up your own middle name would be.
That could be its own podcast. Make up your own middle name show with Derek Everett and Adam Beasley.
Well, I've heard that lately you've kind of got your alter ego. I hear you got your own other training course that you've been teaching Mr. Roy Everett.
Hey, I learned from the best because Adam is not your first name, sir. If we're going to talk middle names.
Well, it's, my chosen middle name was Adam.
Yeah, what's the chosen first name?
Frederick.
There you go.
The fourth.
Fredericks of Hollywood in the building, folks.
The fourth.
The fourth. That's not even a joke.
Yeah, you're Derek Roy Everett Jr. the third.
Hey, where did what's your mom's middle name and where did you go to middle school?
That would be
What street did you grow up on?
Barbara.
No, stop right there. No. I'm not getting my identity stolen. I'm stealing yours. No. Come on.
Oh, that would be the Pahrump Valley.
Yeah.
Do you have WASP?
Adam's phone number is area code 3.
Most people already have it.
Yeah, that's true. You give it out on the air for business, pleasure, or other.
Pleasure.
Sometimes I call you for just a pleasurable chat and see how things are going in life.
Then you only know it's serious when people start coming driving in as fast as they
Well,
can.
you know what happened is we've had a big wreck on the freeway that I've come to learn during the break. So the fire trucks were out to probably save and help people that have been on that wreckage, and there's a backup going. So we ain't going anywhere anyways. We might as well stay and enjoy the rest of the show.
Drive safe.
If you're out there listening to this and you see a wreck, be careful out there. I got an eBay question, and with how this podcast is going, we better answer it before I go off on some other,
Is this an eBay related podcast?
Turns out this is for people trying to start a business or currently have a business or just trying to enjoy themselves on the e-commerce, but mainly eBay. I don't know why I always say e-commerce, like we have a big Etsy following or people are over like, don't forget about us selling on Macari or something. Like eBay is pretty much the big dog in that yard unless you're on Amazon, which is a whole other beast.
I've been selling on Google.
Yeah.
Google Shopping.
Sure.
I didn't figure that out. I paid somebody to figure it out. But we got to figure it out.
I've been telling you how we did on Google Shopping for years. You got your wheelchairs up on the eBay yet?
No.
You should probably just throw it on there and see what happens, right?
That's a good idea. That's a really good idea.
I'm not going to hurt nothing.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do that this week.
Well, so friend of the show, our good buddy, take no guff from no one, T.H. Hooper.
Which I just found out he was a little peeved. He took umbrage because Big Gerb and I went golfing this past Friday morning, and he didn't get the invite, and he was a little upset about it.
Yeah, you need to invite people.
Well, we didn't even know that he golfed.
Well, you never asked him.
Well, apparently that's what we're supposed to go tomorrow, but now Gerb, he's dogging us. He's big timing us because he can't get off work.
Well, you and Hooper should go hit the links.
I think him, Hooper, and Jamie Benson, Jeremy Benson, James W.
We just got names of names.
GP Pants. We're gonna probably go next week now.
So he sold an item, but the problem was it went to I think it was Costa Rica, Puerto Rico, somewhere that's an American territory. So you use the post office to get there.
St. Thomas.
However, the price
St. Kitts.
to get there was more than if he was selling it to Colorado, for instance.
Guam.
So he says to me, D-Roy, I got an issue here. I sold this item to this person. However, to get it to their island, wherever they live, it's telling me it's going to cost a lot more than what we put in there for shipping, or accounted for shipping, because they live in Puerto Rico or wherever, right?
Istanbul.
That's not U.S. territory at all.
Oh, sorry.
Not even close.
Micro-Indonesia.
Now you're just naming things to make yourself think that you sound cool.
The Gilbert Islands.
Fiji, for heaven's sakes.
Yahweh.
The Gilbert Islands?
From Marshall Islands. Marshallese?
Folks, I'm not the one derailed right now. I'm trying to tell an eBay story, and Adam's just he's having a geography bowl with himself.
Hooper's trying to send out the fishing pole he sold, right?
He's the fishing pole man. To this poor guy that probably can't, get out anymore because the grocery stores, and so he needs this fishing pole to be able to feed his family, so he needs it quick.
And it didn't go global shipping?
Oh, it's a U.S.-based territory, so it's not the global shipping program because you can sell it through the USPS.
So how does that work?
So I said, well, you got to tell the guy, here's your options. I miscalculated, and you live, somewhere that's going to cost more, so it will cost you X amount more for me to ship it to you. Or you can say, we can cancel this transaction because it's a mistake. I can't sell it for that price, so on and so forth. So he contacts the guy, and the guy says, hey, no problem, I'll pay the difference. I understand. I'm sure it happens a lot when you live in those kind of places. But you need to invoice me the difference so I can pay you. And right now, eBay customer service is still not on the line. So you got to reach out to D-Roy to help you out if you got a problem.
This is Derek with eBay Customer Service. How can I help you?
They do not make it easy to send an invoice on eBay. It's just...
I heard that.
It's like the computer program was made in 1994 or whatever, the website, the HTML, the layout.
You got to print it out on the DOS-based paper.
Some of it's been updated, some of it hasn't, some still in 1996, some's in 2020. And they just try to mesh it all together because you can't just shut down eBay and reboot and make a whole new page. I mean, you just can't. You got to keep it going.
Especially not during the pandemic.
You're linking things together. So I'm trying to kind of explain to him how to find it, but I know I'm doing a bad job because if I was trying to explain it to myself, I wouldn't have been able probably to find it. But I'm like, you go to your seller thing, then you go to your item sold, and then you're going to find that item, then you're going to look at it, and there's going to be a little button there, and you click that, and it's going to give you a drop-down menu, and you're going to get invoice. But then I'm thinking, well, if the guy already paid, you can't do that. So he worked it out to where the guy sent him the extra money via PayPal, which works just as fine. I mean, you get the money, as long as you get the money before you send it off, and it's, what it was. So the guy said, yeah, I'll pay you the extra money. He sent it via PayPal, and he sent the guy, we'll call it the fishing pole. I don't know what he's selling.
He's got all kinds of, he's got a plethora of knowledge, so it would not shock me what he's sending him.
And so he was able to make the transaction. He saved the day. I said, I was trying to tell him, if it comes down to you have to cancel an item, you don't do what Adam did, and I can't find it, so I have to cancel it. So you get ding on your record as this guy's a flaky, cheapskate that's putting up things for sale he doesn't have.
People gotta understand. I mean, if I were a betting man, this is what my guess Hooper sold. He probably sold a hand-carved didgeridoo out of a large elk horn to a guy in Puerto Rico. That's my guess.
I mean, there's probably worse guesses. The didgeridoo, I didn't know where you were going, but we said out of an elk horn. Yeah, that's probably something to do with that. Yeah, I wouldn't, maybe it was some elk ivories.
That'd be cool.
I don't know if you can sell it. I know you can't sell elephant ivories, but elk might be different. I don't know.
I believe they call them tines.
No, on the teeth. They have ivory teeth, though.
I believe you're smarter than me.
Well, when you grow up in a small town in a central mountainous area, you know a lot about hunting and fishing that you may or may not ever use in your life. Which I don't even really participate in the recreational sports anymore, but I sure know a lot about them.
Never had a hunting license, never shot a Bambi, never done those things.
I still own my blue card. I don't know where it's at. Apparently it's online now. I was talking to another guy at work. Kid was getting his hunter safety, which means that you can go hunting. And I remembered the course. I had to go down to this building, and they had this guy that taught us. It's like a driver's ed, but for shooting guns.
Yeah.
And we had to go like every Saturday or something, and you had to go take this shooting test, and you had to have consistency in your shots, and I wasn't that great of a shot. Big surprise there. But anyway, now they just do it online, and it's like a digital card, and I thought, well, I'm analog out of that system. If I wanted to go hunting right now and was trying to go buy me a tag, I wouldn't know how to do it. I wouldn't know if I had the proper documentation. I don't know if it's on file somewhere.
Here's a crazy idea. Because I know these guys are all gung-ho about getting these auto drafts, about getting pulled so they can hunt Bambi and whatever mountain. Do you think a guy could sell his points that he never would use?
I don't know if you legally could or not.
You know what I mean? Like,
my problem is I'd be like, oh, I'm going to put in for this once in a lifetime super hunt, right? That,
yeah.
It's on the top of Mount Kilimanjaro to go get a antelope, three-toed super elk.
Unicorn.
And the odds of that are 1 million to 1, but I'd be like, well, I'll sell my points. I'll do that for like 10 years, which points equal more lottery tickets for those of you that don't hunt at all. They put in each year, and then, the more you put in, the more tickets you have in the lottery.
That's all it is.
And so if I could sell my lottery tickets to somebody else, they'd have more of a chance for something, would be great. My luck would be I'd draw out, which means that they'd say, you can go hunt I said antelope unicorn. And I'd be, well, now what am I going to do? Because I like spending my time on the beaches. Not freezing, waking up at 4 a.m. to go out. It's just not what I do. People love and enjoy it. I have nothing against it. This isn't a PETA pledge or anything like that.
What is it about that? I get up usually the same time every day. It just kind of happens. Last Friday, I was excited to go golfing. My alarm was scheduled to go off at 6:30, and I woke up at 5:30, and I couldn't go back to bed. I just wanted to go golfing.
I get to going and hanging out with the boys or family members. Sometimes people that don't see each other, that's what you go and do. But I don't get going up to the cold, sleeping on something not comfortable. This is where they're gonna be like, you're not a man. That's why you don't understand, because you're not a real man. And best case scenario, you're gonna shoot something that you have to hike miles to on rugged terrain and drag back. And so that you can put food in your freezer when you can just go down to Costco. I mean, right now, if you have some meat, I guess it's a smart thing, because that whole thing, the shortage is going on. But that's just what some people do, man. That's what they do, and they enjoy it. There's good money to be made in it.
Different strokes for different folks, and that's not my thing either.
Some people don't understand why we went down to watch the Utah Utes get slaughtered in front of everybody.
Or why would you go to the DI and sift through other people's trash?
I mean, yeah, it's just a hobby out there. Chuck Rupert is good at.
Whatever you do and you have fun at, find something that you really enjoy. That's the thing, is if you enjoy something, I don't know, go do it. Go have fun doing it.
So anyways, if you don't have your item and somebody wants to cancel, or you can't fulfill it because of price, whatever, if the customer initiates it or is cool with it, you put the customer said that he didn't want it anymore, and that way it will not ding you. If you cannot find the item, which happens, it's happened to me probably once or twice a year over the 4 or 5 years. Eventually, it will. If you have it consistently, it'll put you on probation, suspend account, that kind of a thing. Because it's just, you gotta be able to produce what you're selling, or people are not going to keep coming to the platform because it's not dependable. But if it's seller initiated versus buyer initiated, it's looked at differently. You give them their money back, and you move forward. You'll relist whatever you want to do. But so that was just an eBay question that came across that I thought would be relevant, and I thought, no way will we be talking about hunting unicorns on Mount Kilimanjaro after I asked this question, and sure enough, there it was.
Or shipping didgeridoos to Puerto Rico.
I mean, a didgeridoo is an Australian instrument. I don't know. I guess they got elks down there too. I don't know.
I mean, he spent some of that time in that ecclesiastical endorsement in Argentina. So.
Endorsement. Going out asking for autographs of religious affiliated leaders or what?
Some of them do.
You hit my passport book here, buddy?
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, they go to places they do.
Well, Argentina's not Australia, Mr. Geography Bowl.
Well, if he's low enough, he's probably by Antarctica, and it's just a hop, jump, and a skip over to Australia.
You're going to have our Australian listeners mad at us and our Argentine guys just confused.
You need to speak in Spanish, and they won't be so ticked off at us.
So I have this little thing I do. I work in a warehouse, which I don't know if I talk about a lot. I work in a warehouse, and I drive, but some of the time I spend in the warehouse. We have a large Hispanic population, which I learned not everyone is from, certain countries.
Mexico.
They got different dialects, though. So what I didn't know is Spanish. It makes sense because even here in America, Southern English is different than Northeastern English, different than, California, and whatever I speak is just a whole different thing. So there's different dialects and accents.
Yeah.
And so this one kid was telling me that he's got a really good Peruvian accent. I said, "Oh, are you from Peru?" And he said, "No, I'm from Mexico." And I said, "Okay." But they compliment me on my accent. I said, so again, I don't see myself going out to, if I'm down in the South in Alabama, I'm not going to be trying to pull an Alabama accent to impress the locals, you see. Or if I go up to the Northeast, I'm not going to be, trying to pull the Boston, the Smart Park, that kind of thing. So that was kind of different to me. I thought, well, that's nice, I guess. I don't know if that's a cultural thing. I know for sure I'm not going to try to do it because that's perceived a whole lot different if I do it than if you guys do it. So I'm just going to sit back here and say, okay, cool. And all the Spanish I know happens to be foul because the only thing they teach you, especially at first, especially anywhere, but really if you're trying to learn another language, the only things people will teach is the swear words or dirty things to say to the people. I don't know why that is, but that's universal. No matter what language you're trying to learn, you ask somebody something and they'll say this, and then you figure out, and it's like the most dirty thing that you've never even heard of, and you think, why in the world would you want me to say that? So whenever somebody tells me to say something in Spanish, I just know automatically you don't say it.
You've gotten immune to that, so.
And I do have kind of fun with them because they think I'm just a big gringo is what they call me, the big gringo. So I'll go over to Chewie or Chewie Junior. Or there's always a Chewie or Chewie Junior, which is not related to Star Wars. I don't know why. And I'll talk really slow and white because that's who I am, really slow and white. But I'll be like, "Hola, amigos," and they think it's funny, so we have fun with it. But I'll Buenos dias, and it'll be like the middle of the day, and they think I don't know what I'm saying, kind of, and I kind of don't, but I know enough to know I'm not saying nothing bad. And, they get a chuckle, and they want me to come tell it to their other friends, and I'll be like, "Buenos nachos," and it's what we do. This is the DeathPiles and Taxes show. This is a podcast about selling on eBay and probably offending everyone that's listening.
And entertaining your Hispanic friends at work.
And, I got one of the guys I work with, his name's Helaman.
What about our echándole?
I don't do that because here's the other problem. I don't understand how it works. This is a dialect thing. Some people think it's like really like offensive, and other people think it's just fine.
We got into I can't remember if it was the time you were with me or not, but I was in when I travel, I love being in an Uber and a Lyft because you get the opportunity to talk to somebody and several times been Hispanic. And
Adam needs friends.
Yeah, I like to talk to people. I'm not a big social distance guy all the time. Some people are in their element when they don't have to talk to other people, but
I prepared for this my whole life, man. Here we go.
Got into talking about it, and this guy who was, he's driving Uber. Most people have another job, and he had another job, and we got talking, and he was from Ecuador, and I said, "You're hustling," and he's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, you're trying to make things happen. You're doing more than one thing. You're really working hard. And he's like, "Echándole." I'm like, "Yeah, buddy, vamos echándole," which means
all dang right.
Hustle in Ecuadorian dialect, I guess. And apparently Derek said it, and he probably said it wrong, and he offended.
I'm sure I
Chewie
did.
And
but they brought it up, so they're like,
Fernando.
"How do you spell that?" I'm like, "I can't spell hustle in English, let alone echándole in Spanish." And so they brought it up, and they're like this. I'm like, "Sure." And they're like, "No, you don't want to be saying that." And I think it was they took it as like a derogatory, like if you're working somebody and you're telling them to go faster because but it was like offensive. And I don't know how much of it's just them full of BS too, because you never know. But I can't. So then I'm like, well, I'm going to go look it up on the internet. Well, I can't spell Achondale, and then you say it into the Google text to words, and I mean it doesn't work because it's not set up for Spanish, and so I just gave up at some point. I just said it's not going to happen. Just gonna when I'm out in public, okay, I'll have fun with it, and I'll say it when we're in the lift cars because that's how it is. But when I'm at work, I don't need to go into HR and try to explain to the people that I don't understand Spanish. I just say random words that may or may not be offensive because I think it's funny. That just doesn't fly in today's day and age anymore. Which
it just don't work. So
I'm trying to say hustle. Well, are you trying to tell me he's not doing a good job and to get going faster? I'm like, no, I'm just trying to tell that I know this word. And then they're like, you're just trying to tell me random Spanish words? I'm like, yes. And they're like, well, I don't believe that's true. And how do you prove that that's true? You're like, no, I really am that stupid. That's what I do for fun. Is I learn random words from the languages that mean like just hustle or like good or something. And I say it to them and I mean it positively. It just doesn't work in your favor all the time. So I just stop saying stuff.
It cracks up the fellas, and that's what gets me.
Some of them it does, but there's always that one that's kind of got the the nut to crack, and it doesn't matter the race, it doesn't matter the country they're from, it doesn't matter the origin. There's probably one that works in your office here. There's always that just one that's just kind of sour and bitter with life, and if everyone's having fun, they're like, well, this can't be right. We need to be at work. It looks like the fire truck is now returning to the station, which means we can go home, maybe. But they're always, they're like, well, who's having fun at work? This work isn't for having fun. It's got to be,
You gotta get things done.
Or like, oh, he thinks he knows some Spanish, does he? Well, I don't know. There's always the mommy tattletale person that thinks they're going to get a raise if they turn in enough people for doing things that they just don't like. I don't know why that is. That's why you work for yourself at home, on the internet, or you own your company like Adam, who can tell people Achondale, and if they get offended, he can say, there's the door, amigos.
There you go. Here's your sign.
Whew, that wasn't, I had my whole derailment planned, that wasn't even it.
But that was a good one.
To tell you the truth.
I always enjoy it. So we're getting close. What do you want to do here, buddy?
Well, I need to tell another eBay story because I need to help out people because I feel like we've been a little all over. I had a person reach out to me not today, it had been a couple days ago, and they said, hey, where's my item? And I said, well, what do you mean? And they said, well, where's my item at? And I said, well, let's look at the tracking, and it showed that it had been delivered. So I said, well, it shows that it's been delivered. And they said, well, it wasn't delivered. And I said, well, you're going to have to contact your USPS because as far as I'm concerned right here, it says it's been delivered on this date at this time. And it wasn't a high dollar item, but they were kind of fishing to get some money back. And I said, I can't just go off that because if the USPS says they delivered it, you can go talk to your postman. And if they don't have it, you can go up that tree and see what happened with it. And so then they tried to open a return case on me. And I said, again, no, this shows that it's been delivered on this date. It's not fair for me to have to take well, you're going to return anyways. You don't have the item, first off, is what you said. And second off, I'm not just going to give you the money back because I have no way of proving whether or not it got delivered or not. If USPS delivered it to the wrong address or something, which can happen, if you ask them, maybe they can straighten it out. But I can't go out to Biloxi, Mississippi, Charlotte, North Carolina, or wherever this person was located and go around the neighborhood to try to find where this item got delivered. And I mean, we were talking a $50 Michael Jordan card. It wasn't, small change, but anyways, long story short, they withdrew. Once I stood my ground and said, they went and talked to the post office.
Yeah.
They said it got delivered to an apartment building. I don't live in an apartment building, so
That's not your fault.
somehow they found it because I don't think it got delivered to the post office. I think somebody got the mail that didn't tell Dad they got the mail or something.
Oh.
Anyway, it got dropped, but point of the story is, if you have the tracking information on there and somebody comes at you for where's my item, what's going on with this, as long as it shows that it was delivered by USPS and it's confirmed delivered, eBay will have your back. So no matter what the big bad wolves of the world will do, stand strong and don't just give them money back because they want it.
Which the world has changed. The whole adage in the past for businesses were always, don't worry, Derek, the check's in the mail. Don't worry, we got your pay, the check's in the mail. We sent it out yesterday, you should get it. Don't worry, Derek, your item's in the mail. Like, everything that you send nowadays, like you have a tracking device and you can see exactly where it is. I bought some items for somebody here in the office. She graduated from
Mother's Day
got her master's degree. No, not for mother. Just a graduation gift.
for her mother.
Okay, sure. some memorabilia from her college, some swag.
Okay.
I got some swag, but I could see like exactly where it was, and it left the warehouse at this time, and it got checked in here and checked in there. So there's usually a way to track those things, and even items when we send them to the IRS, you know, I'll send it certified, and I'll say, hey, this is where it is, and you can check everything. So eBay makes it super easy too when you send items. Like you just go on there, you buy it, and it has a tracking number, and people can follow it. So like you're saying, hold your ground. Most of the time, it's not your fault as long as you get it to that post office. Which again, I love. I have the speed pass. Every time I go in there, I just go in and plop it right down on the desk.
I mean, it's possible. Maybe you put the wrong address. Maybe you hit a wrong number. I mean, maybe eBay put it in wrong. So, I mean, double check a few things. You know, don't just say, hey, you're an idiot and I'm not going to deal with you. You still need customer service. I say all these things nicely. On the podcast, I kind of jazz it up a little bit. But for the most part, it's just, well, you know, the tracking number is showing this, and I can call your post office if you want, but that's not going to do me much good. So if you want to call them or go talk to the guy that delivered it, they probably have some more information than I'm going to get. And, you know, you put something in somebody's court, they actually got to go do something and be proactive about it, which is showing that you're willing to help them, but they got to go do something. Most people are just going to stop at that point.
Yeah.
If they do go the extra mile, good for them, you know, and maybe I'd be more sympathetic if they said, hey, I've looked all over, I contacted the post office, can't find nothing. And then maybe I said, hey, we split the difference. I don't know, or I just say, the tracking said it was delivered, contact eBay. That's probably what I would do, because I know eBay's going to back me, but you got options.
Can I share with you a story that happened this week at the office?
Only if it was a story that happened this week
Okay.
at the office.
It happened this week at the office. That's related to that same feature that you just talked about. I don't, everybody, you know, most of the people we deal with now, they pay with a credit card online. They get an email invoice to them, they pay with them. Had a person last year waited to the very last minute, April 15th. I did the return. I don't normally do returns on that day. Did the return, got it to them. They paid. They got the documents. They signed them electronically. We sent off the return. A couple days later, I got a notice from my credit card company from from QuickBooks saying, "Hey, that amount was disputed."
Mm-hmm.
So like it didn't go through, and I'm like, well, I sent off everything, and I'd never had that happen before. Because normally if it declines, it just happens right there. But this was disputed. They had the charge. They
Charge back.
You charge back.
Much like I did to the Jerry Sloan people in the shipping episode. If you listen to Jerry Sloan, I explained how I pulled the same procedure on somebody.
Yeah. So this was for goods and services that I actually had produced and done everything, and tried getting a hold of the person time and time again, and it just never happened. So I just chalked it up to you live and you learn. So needless to say, this person emailed me this week saying, "Hey, I need a copy of my return." And I looked up, and I remember exactly who it was. Like, hey, before we get into that, I need you to check on this charge because there was an issue with it last year. Okay, yeah. And they asked me for the login information to get the return. Little did I say that when we send something, we email it and it's DocuSigned, and they get an email, and if they're smart, they create a copy of it. So she already had the return. She just didn't know that she could have got it.
That's fine.
But I corresponded again, and it took some time because, you know, and I says, hey, you disputed this charge. That's what I'm showing. Can you please, you know, let me know what happened? And needless to say, after a couple days, she says, can you send me that invoice? So I sent her the invoice. She got it paid, and then I sent her a copy of her access so she could log in and get a return. And needless to say, I got back some money that I thought I'd lost.
I mean, you probably could have went to the credit card company and had a whole long procedure of trying to get that money. But what you should have done is after she paid, say, okay, and now to send it over to you is going to cost you. Now that bill's been paid for me to email this information to you is going to cost you
That's a good idea.
the pain and suffering tax, and also you're not gonna ever get your taxes done here again, just so you know. Cash only.
She's not anyway, so.
Was it anyone I know?
No, it was not.
No, I always like it when I get the hot gossip off the top kids.
I did do a couple more people down south that you do know.
The
So.
hot goss, as the kids say.
There you go.
So I went over to this store we're talking about. I'm going to try to do a podcast with them here coming up soon. So I'm not going to say too much about it. We'll let them talk about themselves if we ever make this work. But I watched them do a...
when we make it work.
If we do, if and when.
When.
If and when. And I watched them do a live video from their place. And they're younger kids, not a whole lot younger than us, but enough that, man, it was just like, this is lit. And this is this and that. I learned so many slang words that I just had no clue what was going on in this Facebook Live video of how they're describing things and what was going on. I've never felt older, Adam, and that even includes when I said each Honda to a guy I work with.
Oh boy. I've had fun. It's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun.
I think I got some stories for next week coming, folks.
I believe it. And you got some secret mission that you're doing this weekend. I'm going to say I'm going to have something to do too. Now that you're got something, I'm going to find something to do this weekend.
And if that happens to be something that can be sold on eBay, if you're in a place where it's safe to do that, please do it. Please list your stuff. Get out there, boost the local economy, boost the e-com economy, and boost your own economy by putting some of those dollars back into your pocket because, hey, you deserve it. You listen to DeathPiles and Taxes.
You do deserve a lot for listening to this podcast.
You made it this far, you get a high five from me I'll give you a fist or elbow bump in person.
An elbow rub.
I'm good at that.
I'm sure.
You remember the Mark McGuire and Jose Canseco Bash brothers? They used to hit forearms. They were just, a little before the time and not quite to the elbow.
Yes.
So I sold that Mark McGuire World Series Pepsi promotional jersey the other day that we got back when we were in San Francisco, if you recall.
Oh, yes.
I sold that for, I think it was $70-ish. I don't remember what we paid for. It was like $4 or $5. You guys were calling me all sorts of names for even thinking of buying it. Boy, did I prove you wrong now.
That is not.
You and Mike Painter can go buy me a Pepsi for my troubles.
Man, all I can say is those places we ate at, they were lit.
They were. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to write down words so I can throw them in there for our younger kids listening. I'm that old man. I actually today, so sorry, I'll get derailed. I know we're ended, but I have to tell this story because I will not remember it. So a lot of the kids that we're working with now are in their early 20s, and I'm about double that, but I still think I'm young. But they're all into video games and gaming, and I'm selling. So it's always good to know what's hot, so you know what to look for to sell. And like I said, the Switch has been hot, and there's the PlayStation 5 and the new Xbox coming out in the fall that they're excited about, and they go home. And so this guy was asking me what games I played. I'm like, I just don't have the time. I mean, nothing against it, but I just don't have the time to do that right now. I'm just not doing it. But I said, but you like to game? And he's like, oh yeah. I said, dude, have you ever done the trail? And he's like, what? I'm like,
Oregon.
I said, have you done the Oregon Trail? You've won the trail. If you're a gamer, you've done the trail. He had no clue. So if you got some people that are under 25, or if you are under 25, this is for you. But if you're an older person like me and Adam, and you know kids under 25 that like to game, you got to build up how this is the ultimate. You've heard of Mario, you've heard of Pac-Man, but have you heard of the trail? The Oregon Trail.
I love how you didn't even say Oregon, you just said the trail.
Oh, because we're gamers. You shut it down. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not Super Mario Brothers. It's Mario, or it's not. I don't know. Maybe it is Fortnite.
Yeah.
But so I'm like the trail, and they're like, no. I said, dude, you might think that you're hardcore and a gamer, but until you've had to bury your best friend because he died of dysentery or a snake bite, and you have to fill out that gravestone, man, you haven't lived. Are you going to take the easy way? Or are you going to forge the river? Or are you going to pay somebody to do it? One's a guarantee, but one you have to take a little bit of venture. You hit the dallies, but now you're running out of money. You got to run that. You got to run that without hitting them rocks. And he looked at me like I had 3 heads on. I said, you got to go out. Sometimes you get a buffalo. Sometimes there's nothing out there, and your wife's got the collar up. What are you going to do? These are choices you have to make. And so he looks at me and he goes, oh, so it's a choice-based game? Have you ever heard of, he says some name. I said, no, I haven't ever heard of that. And he goes, well, it's a choice-based game too, where you make choices. And I said, no, man, nothing's like traversing the trail.
Choice.
I said, you go home, and he said, is this like based on, I don't know what he said. I'm like, it's based on history, son, because I like to say stuff like that too. I said, you go home and you find the trail, and then we'll talk about gaming after that. After you've played the trail and you understand life, because your wife died of dysentery and you were right outside of Oregon. She just gave you 5 kids on this, somehow going across the trail that took like, I don't know, 6 months, you could have 10 kids. I don't know how it worked.
Ain't no party like a Donner Party.
That's right. You can go left or you can go right. Oh, you got bit by a bunch of rattlesnakes. Start again. You'll get continue.
You can't do anything else with that.
You got to go out and you learn how to buy things and sell. Like, I don't remember if you sell, but you bought the stuff from the old grandma's wagon.
Man, all I can say is...
You can go to the trading post for safety, or you going to try to take that shortcut?
You can't...
Oh, your wagon wheel just broke. What you going to do? You can go try to trade with the... I can't say the words they call them, the Native Americans, or are you going to, just wait for some good Samaritan to come piece it together? Oh, well, now your oxen's sick because it drank bad water.
And that being said, you can't do anything else but go out and sell and know that there's 2 things that are certain in life.
The trail will set you free for your death piles.
And taxes.
Last question, Coach. We just got word just before we went off the air that Thursday's game's canceled. How does that affect you? Would you like to have had another game against the Lakers?
Well, we can't worry about that, Craig. The most important thing is that we're doing something that's involved a lot of people. Has really been unfortunate here with all this fire and stuff. We just, that's more important in the game of basketball. We'll worry about the game and do the best we can, but I feel bad for the people that's involved with all this, and hopefully our guys don't use that as an excuse to not work a little harder and try to get a little bit better.
Coach, well said. Thanks for your time.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right. That's Jerry Sloan, guys, with